Welcome back! I want to teach you how to make a buttermilk coffee cake today. It's quite an easy recipe. When the boys were learning their way around the kitchen, I wrote it out with a couple of warnings, so it'll be easy if I just show you how to throw it together. Grease a oven-worthy pan. My mom always taught me to prep the ingredients the night before so you could throw the cake together in the morning so it was really fresh. So we'll do the first steps now. In a large bowl, put 2 1/4 cups of flour. Add 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon, 3/4 cup of oil. Any kind of oil that you're comfortable with, although you don't want to do too sharp a olive oil. And a cup of brown sugar. This won't feel very intuitive, but just mix it all together. And it'll look very odd, but the neat part of this is this forms the base for the cake and for your crumble. It looks kind of funny, but stay with me, it'll work out. When you've got it looking about like this, get your 1/4 cup measure that you had the oil in and take 3/4 of this and pop it back into that bowl. So you've got 3/4 cup of that crumble here, and now you're going to add 1 teaspoon of cinnamon to add an extra beauty to the crumble. And you're going to mix that together just like that, and you can see how the crumble gets that beautiful cinnamony edge to it. And then we're just going to set this aside. And yes, on occasion I have forgotten to take out the crumble and had to make it later, but not the end of the world. So set that aside too. Now we're going to add the last few ingredients so the cake is ready to mix together first thing in the morning. 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1 of soda, and just leave them sitting on there. And then so I don't forget, I just pop an egg right there. And now I'm going to put some saran wrap on it, or glad wrap as we call it here. Now I'm going to prep the buttermilk, which is just 1 cup of milk and 1 tablespoon of vinegar. And I'm going to let that curdle overnight. I'm going to cover it here as well. Okay, so everything's ready for the morning. I have the pan ready, the base of the cake ready, the buttermilk ready to throw in, and the crumbles over here on the side so you don't accidentally put it in before your cake is ready. See you in the morning. We'll put this thing together. So good morning. I'm up early to get the cake in the oven before brekkie. I'm going to turn the oven to 180 for Australians, 350 for Americans. This part works better with a whisk or an electric beater. Crack your egg right in there. Add your buttermilk, which kind of looks curdled now, which is great. Gets that sort of tangy flavor happening. Whisk it all together till it's smooth, taking special care to get the baking soda and baking powder whisked through. Like I said, if you prefer an electric mixer, go for it. I don't like that really loud sound in the early morning. When most of the lumps are out, get it in the pan. This cake actually doesn't take very long to bake at all. That's kind of why I like it in the morning, because it's not a very thick cake. I just spread it on the pan there, in the pan. And now you're going to add your crumble which of course we know was originally part of the cake. What I love about this cake is that it fills the entire house with a real cinnamony flavor. So now just go ahead and sprinkle the crumble onto the cake. Pop it in the oven. Bottom is usually the bottom or the middle. And I'm gonna just take a peek at it in about 10-15 minutes and turn it around maybe. But that's it. Very simple. When we were children, my mother always served this cake with sour cream. Yogurt's fine as well. So we're gonna enjoy some sour cream with that today. The cake's been in about 20 minutes, springs back to the touch, so it should be beautifully done. It's gonna make a lovely breakfast. Let me know how you go, and I hope you enjoy it.
What I'm asking you to do for an ignoramus like me is say, as well as the crumble, which we're going to use as the top of the cake or the pastry.
Everyone knows what a crumble is.
But nobody's known that there's going to be a crumble on this cake.
Okay, the frisky part of this cake is that when you mix this together, it's not only forming the base of the cake, but also the crumble, which we'll add onto the top of the cake afterward. And buttermilk is just butter with about 1 tablespoon of vinegar in it.
Stop. You just said buttermilk is just butter with a tablespoon of vinegar in it.
Okay, sorry.
Do the whole thing again. Now I'm going to say something about setting aside buttermilk, which is just butter with vinegar.
Okay, stop mocking me.